Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing step by step. And you can see there in the thumbnail that there is well, I'm guessing that looks like almost like a Buddhist temple there up on top of a mountain. And you really are going to have to take it step by step to get in there, just looking at all of these steps that's ahead of Sleuth. Now, on our travels in Asia, and I think I did mention that before. We were lucky enough to visit a few of these temples. Not quite as dramatic a scene as that one, but pretty dramatic. You know, we've seen a few in Japan, particularly in Kyoto, where there's actually probably not far off such a temple. And then our favorite would probably be the one in Hangzhou in China, where it was an ancient Buddhist temple, and it was absolutely stunning. So, you know, you see it in the movies, you see it in movies like Kung Fu Panda, which I've referenced in the past. And yeah, the real life is not hugely dissimilar, other than the fact that if you go during sort of peak spring to Japan, just don't be surprised by the huge number of tourists that are there to admire the cherry blossom season. So pick your time carefully, is what I'm going to say. Right, that's enough of a background. Let's actually take a look at some Sudoku and some rule sets. So we have Step by Step by Arc29. Fairly straightforward set of rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, so that means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. Then we have normal XV rules. So digits separated by an X must sum up to 10. These two cells have to sum up to 10. If that was a 2, this would have to be an 8. Digits separated by a V must sum up to 5. If that was a 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure that these two cells sum up to 5. Now, ARC is very deliberate here in saying not all X's and V's are given. So nothing stops me from having an 8 in here without an X. Nothing stops me from having a 3 in here without a V. They add up to 5 and there is no V. They add up to 10 and there is no X. Last but not least, we've got, of course, the steps of German whisper lines here. So normal German whisper rules apply. So adjacent digits along a green line must have a difference of at least 5. So if this cell here was a 2, these two cells would have to be from 7, 8, or 9 to be 5 or more away. Now, this particular cell can't be an 8 because it's in the same box, but it could be a 9, and then I could have 1, 2, 3, or 4 to again be 5 or more away. You might be already noticing a pattern that every step is a little bit different. It's either a low digit from 1, 2, 3, 4, or a high digit from 6, 7, 8, 9, and then it repeats, oscillating between the two. No 5s on a German whisper line, up to the viewer as usual to determine why that is the case. So, only thing left to say is, if you want to play along, if you want to climb this massive set of stairs, or steps, one at a time, of course, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. Actually, let me just take a note of, yeah, that's my solve start time. So something that I'm going to do for sure on this puzzle is do a bit of coloring. Whenever you're trying to add up two digits that come up to 5, you know that they have to be a low digit. It's either a 1-4 pair or a 2-3 pair. And I'm going to use the color blue as usual to make that distinction. Now we have the start of, actually I could actually do a little bit better. When it comes to a 10, 1 would be a low digit, 1, 2, 3, 4. Its partner would have to be a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9 to add up to 10. So 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6. And that gives me colors on both German whisper lines, if I am careful. I can go all the way, I think. Yeah. All of these are high. All of these are low. Sorry, I'm doing a bit slow because I just want to double check that I haven't made a mistake. If you sort of skip one at this time, you know, you're in trouble. Right, we can place a digit now in box 5. We could have done it before I even started coloring. That is a 5. You remember in the walkthrough of the rule sets, I said German whisper lines can never have a 5. Well, every other cell in box 5 is a German whisper line That is the only one that can be a 5. Neither of these cells can be a 4. If that was a 4, this would need to be a double 9. That breaks. Same in here. So one of these is a 4, and therefore one of these has to be a 9 next to it. That means, let me think about this actually. Could this be a 6? No, double 1. 6, double 1. Yeah, so one of these is the 6. And therefore this between them has to be a 1. It'll be another 1 in box 2. Can I keep this going? What am I thinking now? What is this digit? So hang on, let me just think this through. This is 2, 3, or 4 because it's not a 1. That makes this 1, 2, or 3. That's fair enough. This actually, more importantly here's something that's a lot more useful than what I was about to do. 1 and 4 are already written in box 5. Only digit that this can be is 2 or 3. Which, if you remember when I said about X's and V's, this has to be now a 1-4 pair. 1-4 pair, that's another 2, 3, that's another 2, 3. 2 and 3 to add up to 10 can only possibly be 7 or 8. That is not a 6. That is the 6. That is the 1. That's not a 1. Lovely. Does that help me with my 4s? Not really. Yeah, not really. The only thing I know is that this is 2, 3, 4, and this is 1, 2, 3. These are 1 and 4. Which one of these two could be a 4? Well, if it's this cell, both of these would have to be a double 9 in the same box. It isn't. It's this cell. Therefore, that's a 9. That's a 9. Whichever one of these two is a 4, it needed a 9 next to it. And obviously, that now can't be a 9. That can't be a 4. That's a 4. Therefore, that's a 1. That's a 9. This is another 2, 3. That's not a 9. This is another 7, 8. Right, let's just keep this going. Because this is a minimum of 2, 3, this has to be at least 7, but it's also not a 9. And this can't be a 1. This is another 2, 3. This is another at least 7, 8. Can't be a 9 again. This can't be a 4. Not that it's necessarily helpful. That can be a 4, so that doesn't tell us anything about this one. I do have a 1 up here. I shouldn't lose track of it. 7 and 8, not 1 and 4. This is 2 or 3. Again, this can't be 6. This has to be at least a 7, but not a 9. This can't be a 6, and again, can't be a 9. This is another 7, 8. This could be really anything. It's 2, 3, not 4, 2 or 3. That can't be a 6 because that's not a 1. That's a 9. That can't be a 6 either because that would require a double 1. That's another 7, 8. Don't know if we're going to have to start coloring these 7, 8s. There's so many of them. That can be a 9, so not another 7, 8, thankfully. What can this be? Yeah, a whole bunch of digits, a whole bunch of digits again. Let's not think about it just yet. What about this? Where am I going next? This cannot be a 6 because that can't be a 1. This can indeed be 7, 8, or 9. This cannot be a 6 either because, again, it has two blues in the same box. This is 7, 8, or 9. Therefore, this can't be a 1, so this can't be a 9. This is just 7, 8. This is just 2, 3. 7 and 8 means that this is still somewhat limited. It is 2 or 3, can't be a 4. This can't be a 4 either. This has to be a 1. That does allow us a 6 in here, so doesn't necessarily limit anything. That is a 4, that is a 1. Sorry, I'm just having a bit of a think, and that's another 2, 3. So you can start to color the grid a bit more, which I'm sort of tempted to do. So we've got essentially all the low digits and a 5 all seeing this cell. So this has to be a high digit. And I'm sure I can apply this a few more times. This is 104. I just don't know to what end, so I'm not necessarily going to go down that route unless needed. In fact, it is just a 1. Here is classic Sudoku coming in to the rescue. That is a 1. That's not a 1. In fact, more classic Sudoku. How about we do a bit of that now? That is another 1. I think that is 9 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, we need one more in here. That's the 1. Right. That can't be a 4 because this is 7 or 8. Well, and I've already placed it in the box. 2 or 3. I've got an 8 looking at it, and that's a 7. That means that this has to be a 2. Shame it's not looking at any other 2 or 3. Otherwise, it would have actually allowed us to do something with it. Where is the 3, though? It's not in these cells because we've got a 2-3 pair. So it's not these 2 cells. One of these is a 3. Come back to that. It feels like it's sort of leading us to think that this is about 2s, 3s, and 7s and 8s. Just wouldn't, I mean, how about 9s? Can I do anything with 9? One of these 2 cells is a 9. I've broken something here. How did I write an 8 in here? Did I mean to put 9 and I didn't? I may well have. That's a 9. Excuse me, because I've got a double 7, 8. So that was probably a typo from earlier. So I don't actually know what this is. Better. That means that's not a 9. This is 6, 7, or 8. How can I remove a 9 from this one? I'm not sure I can. 9. No. 9. Not sure. Let's think about this one for a second. I don't know. It feels like there is something in here that would allow me to force it. If this is a 2, this would have to be an 8. This would be a 3, and this would be a 9. So I'm just going to, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go through the options for a second for my benefit. That's one possibility. Now, the other possibility is that this is a 3, this is a 7, this is a 2. But yeah, this comes back as, well, it won't be a 7 because we already used it with a 2. And that would be an 8. So at least it's not a 7, but that was a lot of work to just remove one digit. This is not 7, 8, or 9. That's a 6. Where does the other 2, 3 go in this box? I think it has to be in here. Kind of my earlier selection didn't really help. Just we need another 2, 3 in row 6. Can't be this cell because we've got 2 of them already. This is 7 or 8, just to complete the row. That 2, 3, not entirely helpful. The second one in this box, though, that's a double. That's a double. That's a double. That's the other 2, 3. That's all the low digits in here done. That can't be a 4 because that would have to be a 6 and it can't be. So this is the high digit. This is the low digit. That means the 4 in box 1 is in here. The 4 in box 7 is in there. The 4 in box 6 is in one of these 2 cells. Again, not quite enough. Nothing stops this from being a 4, does it? It could be 4 and 6. Yeah, that'll be fine. That would create a 7, 8, and then a 9. Okay. Again, the 2, 3 pairs. We've got 2 of them here. None of these are 2s and 3s. One of these is the second 2, 3, and it's not this one. So that's another 2, 3. I think I am going to start coloring these 2, 3s before long. There is enough of them that see each other now to actually just start to make a bit of a dent. But what would be very helpful is for me to actually figure out which one of these are 7s and 8s. That would immensely help. Right, let's do that. So I'm going to call this the purple 2-3. I'm going to call this the green 2-3. That's purple. That's purple. That's green. That makes that purple, green. So purple. We need a green 2-3. There's none of these. Purple 2-3 is in here. Green 2-3 is here. I mean, just forget the green for a second. Where is the second 2-3? Well, it's none of these cells. Can't be this cell. That's the only place that's left for it. No 2-3s in here or there. That means there is a green 2-3 in one of these cells. This is not as helpful as I thought it was going to be. Kind of feel like I've gone down a rabbit hole here, and it's not. It's not helping. How are we doing for time? 13 minutes. This is more difficult than I expected. So the 4s, there's a 4 in here. That's not a 4. That is a 4. 4 is now in one of 2 cells in here. No. One of 2 cells in here because of this 4, and of course these. That's done. Well, I say done. And 4 is in one of these 4 cells. Okay. Maybe I just haven't thought enough about high digits, such as the fact that this has to be at least 7 or 8, but again, it can be a 9. Because that's at least 2 or 3. I'm just going to keep the colors consistent for a second because it may help me just spot things as I'm scanning around. Although if I'm honest, I'm not sure what's going on. Sleuth. 2 different 2s and 3s on the same German whisper line. Looking at this digit, that's an 8. That's a 7. That's a 3. That's a 2. That's not a 7. Purple is 2. Can go around and fix that quickly. Green is 3, 2, 3, 2. Right, we're going to be able to do something with this now, surely. 3 means that is 8. That means, well, it still could be 2 or 3. It's not deterministic necessarily. That makes that a 7. That makes that an 8. That makes that a 7. This has to be the 7. This has to be an 8, and that was there all along as well. Another 2-3 pair. Goodness, you guys must have been screaming at your screens. What are the 2 digits that are missing? 5 and 9, I'm going to say. Don't know what they are yet. These 2 cells, I need another 7. It's not in here. That's the 7. That's another 5, 9. That makes this 4 and 8, I'm going to venture. That 8 tells me that's the 8, that's the 4, and that's the 4. What are these 2 cells? They are 6 and 5. Don't know how to resolve them yet. That's another 5, 6. Can't resolve. That's another 5, 6. Cannot resolve. That's another 5, 6. Still cannot resolve. That's a 7. Right, we have another 5, 6 in here, plus an 8 of some sort. That's my 8. Almost finding my colors, by the way, now distracting. So, not exactly helping me. That 7 gives me a 3, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 3, a 2. 5, 6, 8, still no. What is this cell? It is a 5. That was there for the taking ages ago. That is a 5. That is not a 5. This is 6, 8, or 9. Actually, that 8 tells me that's a 9. This is not 6 or 8. It is, in fact, 6. That's an 8. That's a 9. That is a 6. That is a 4. That is not a 4. The 4 now is unfortunately still not fully resolved. Actually, that is a 5. This is now 4, 7 pair. That 7 tells me the order. That's a 4. That's a 7. That's a 4. Not a 4. 8 still not resolved. That's fine. 5 gives me 9 and 5. Come on, Sleuth. 5 in here. 6, 5, 6, 5. This is a 6, 8 pair. Not resolved. Okay, we can just write in a digit in here. 8. We need a 3 somewhere in here. It's not this and it's not this. That's the 3. We need a 5. Actually, we could just write in whatever this is. That's a 7. These 3 now are 5, 9, and 6. And you can see that they're all on different columns, helpfully, in this box. So I can only remove 1 digit from each rather than actually resolve them at this point. These 2, I need a 2, which can only be in here. That is not purple. That is a 7. This is 6 or 9. It is not a 9. That's a 6, a 9, a 5, a 6, an 8, a 6. I need a 3 in the green. That's the 3. That is just a digit I should be able to write in. A 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need 8 and 9. That's 8. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's 9 for the finish. Lovely puzzle, Ark. It is just about following the steps carefully. I can't believe it took me so long to spot this. I mean, what was I doing? Probably thinking about my temple visits. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. Well, maybe the video. And as usual, there are many other puzzles not dissimilar to this one. This one is probably more about Green German whisper lines than anything else. So I will recommend a playlist next from that that you can explore to your heart's content. Bye-bye for now. See you soon.